Good evening, my friends. Happy September. It's me, Kevin the Comic Doctor, coming to you live from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, and this is another live CGC unboxing. My friends, like I said, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, like I said. And I come up here every week and I show off all these CGC slabs that belong to you, many of my amazing clients. And I've got 3 boxes to share with you tonight, and it's going to be a challenging evening because A, I'm absolutely exhausted, and B, CGC sent all the latest boxes in their new boxes and their new packaging. And it comes with, they come with these thingies, and I'll tell you, we're not going to see too many smash slabs with these. The book, 20 books or so are bundled in here. Actually, about 10 of them are bundled in here, and they're shoved into a big box, another bundle on top, and a bundle of 5 on top of that, 25. I think it's 25 books. And yeah, they're really quite safe. So that's fantastic. However, it makes it much more difficult for me to show off these books to you. So I'm going to have to stop and kind of recalibrate in between each box because I have all the books here. I'm going to have to start opening the boxes before the show. I realize that tonight. But tonight I'm not going to do that. Tonight I'm just going to wing it. Next week I'll have, if they keep using those boxes, that is, I will bring in some CGC size boxes, and I will be able to go through these books relatively quick. We're also going to talk about scumbags. We're going to talk about scumbags in our hobby that like to rip people off. I want to talk a little bit about that. We've unfortunately experienced something in the last few weeks from a person a lot of people trusted. We talked about that a couple weeks back. Mike DeCella's Hero Restoration, all that nonsense. And I want to talk about, I heard some other stuff. I heard some other things. I'm not going to mention names. You know me, I don't drop names. Not here to start any fights or anything like that. But I heard some stuff recently that really upset me about a local dealer. Again, I'm not going to, I shouldn't say local, Canadian dealer. I'll just say a Canadian dealer. And it's kind of upset me a little bit. And I want to talk to you guys about that. I want to warn you guys, to be very careful about who you trust your books with. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well later on today. So we got 43 of you. Oh, wow, already in the chat room. Welcome. If you are new here, guys, please consider subscribing to the channel. By doing so, you can interact with me and others here on our live chat. And of course, as you know, if you've been here before, I go on to the live chat here and there and talk to you, answer any questions you might have. This is an opportunity for you, my clients, and others to come and ask me questions about comic book collecting, pressing, grading, any question you might have. That's what I'm here for. I use this as a conduit to reach my clients every single week if they want to touch base with me. This is the place to certainly do it. Because as you know, if you try to contact me, I do get back to people, but sometimes I'm not as quick as I'd like to be because I am swamped. But every Tuesday night, I get on here and I talk to you. I make that hour and a half available for you. Okay. Hello, everybody. We'll get to the chat very, very soon. 44 of you are here. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button too, guys. Let's get started. We have a lot of Silver Age books here, I think, in this particular batch. And some of these are quite nice. Some of these, I believe, belong to Peter. And if you guys know Peter, I'm not sure if he's here tonight or not, but Peter likes his DC books, and we've got quite a few to share with you. And my eyebrow's still doing that thing. It's going to probably take weeks. We talked about that last week. I'm not going to get into it again. All right, here we go. Let me get my overhead cam going. So first off, we start with a low-grade copy of Avengers number 18 in the 2.5. And we'll jump right into Peter's books right away. Now Pete's got a great collection of DC books, and he did a lot of grading with me over the last several years, and now he's just picking up the higher grade ones, books that he feels are going to garner him a 9.2, 9.4, hopefully a 9.6, hey, hopefully a 9.8. Not easy to get to, but he picked some good ones because after a good clean and press, 9.4, we got a Flash 202. It's a Kid Flash backup story. Look at that gorgeous cover. Is that Neil Adams? I think it is. Is that Neil Adams? No, it's Robert Kanigher and Steve Sitka stories. Murphy Anderson art and Dick Giordano cover. So there you go. Oh, Dick Giordano's awesome. That's right. Yeah. So there we go. We also have Superboy. I think he's going to be happy with these grades. A Superboy number 166. This is a Neil Adams cover and a 9.4. Oh, Peter G is here. There he is. How you doing, Pete? Good to see you. Wow. Oh boy, Pete. Got a couple of good ones. We got a 9.2 copy, Superboy 168 with a Hitler cameo. Any book with Hitler, man, I tell you. This is also a Neil Adams cover. All right, check this baby out. I think this might be the highlight right here. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, 138. Murphy Anderson art, Jack Kirby story, and Kirby and Adams cover. It's a partial photo cover. 9.6 white page. Wow. Very nice. Very, very nice. The last two aren't quite as high as that, unfortunately, but these are nice looking copies too. I'm surprised this only got an 8, actually. 8-0 copy, Justice League of America 84. And then we saw it on our thumbnail, and that thumbnail probably gave Peter the clue that his books were coming up. Superman 240, again, Neil Cover Adams, Kurt Swan art, beautiful cover. Again, I can't understand why this one only got the grade it did, because it's a beautiful copy. 8.0, really strange. And guys, what I love about Peter's collection is Peter is an original collector. He picked these books up off the shelf, and I've had the pleasure of seeing all of his books assembled. And these are like a one-owner collection. And usually when you have one-owner collections, the books tend to grade out around the same. But here we see a big, from an 8.0 all the way up to a 9.6. You know, these last two, I think they're a little hard on him, but hey, what do I know? All right, here we go. We have a 9.0 copy of Fantastic Four 72 white pager. Great high grade copy there. And then I think this is one of yours too, Dannon. 4.5 copy Shazam #1. Yeah, Dannon brought in some lower grade books, and they were not supposed to go to CGC, and sent them to CGC. So anyways, you're going to see a couple of low grade books. It probably shouldn't have gone, but they did. Anyways, there you go, guys. First batch. I'm going to go over to the chat now, see who's here. Chat window. Here we go. Looks like Derek. Was Derek the first one here? Derek Kyoto is in Portugal. Try to show my books if you can, brother. Well, I will if they're here. I will if they're here. John's here. How you doing, John? Good seeing you on Saturday. Carlo's here. Carlo got a haircut. I saw that. Carlo has had a long mane of beautiful curly brown hair, which is now gone, and he looks like a little preppy kid now. He looks like a little preppy kid. Gord's here. How you doing, Gord? Dave's in the house as well. How you doing, Dave? Let's see who else is here. Eric's here. How you doing? Good to see you. Oz Express is here. Oz Express is here. How are you? Adam, hey, Adam, how's it going? Bad Hombre, I'm sure we all got our stories regarding the little title. Well, again, we could talk about it, Bad Hombre. I have no problem talking about it. I just don't want to mention names. I think this is kind of when we start talking about it, is my way to kind of put the fear of God in you regarding, your comics and who you leave your comics with. We will get to that soon. We'll finish one big box, and then we'll do a box and a half, and then we'll start talking about it. I'll tell you what I heard, which was really upsetting to me. Yeah. And I don't know if the people who are involved in this or watch my show or not. I probably don't, but very upset to hear this, because I can't believe people actually behave this way. Anyways, here we go. Let's keep going. JSS Brooklyn's here. Good evening, all. Doc, looking forward to what's up. And thank you for your time. My pleasure, JSS. Is the bent packaging story cheap shot? It's not the bent packing. No. It's something completely different. You'll be very shocked, I think, when you hear the story I have to tell. Yo, what's up, Louie? How are you, my friend? Haggart, the great 70s here. How you doing? Dan, it says howdy. How was your first day back at school? It was first day back at school. I'm exhausted. And it was a really easy day. And I'll tell you, our school is actually kind of neat, because they do like a fun welcome back. They have a red carpet. The kids come over a red carpet. They have like a guest speaker, and they've got like pizza lunch. They've got games. So they try to make the first day back a festival at our school, which is great for the kids. But and I only taught. I only really engaged with one full class, and I was exhausted. I kind of felt like after Fan Expo, when you're talking all day long, you kind of get that exhaustion. Hey, Luke, how's it going? Shipped your gift today. Eric, what did you send me? I'm really interested to find out now. Hopefully I'll have it before next week. John, someone hit that like button. Well, 23 of you have, and there are 60 of you here almost, so please hit that like button. GTA Lady, where have you been all my life? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in such a long time. Canada Comic Guy says, love the show as per usual. What do you think about CGC pre-screen? Seems like a good idea for less valuable comics. Bad Hombre agrees because Bad Hombre does it. And a lot of my clients actually use the CGC pre-screen. Nothing wrong with it. You know, if you have to have that 9.8, it's the way to go, I suppose. But honestly, guys like Bad Hombre and, you know, Charlo and I together have a pretty good track record at picking out 9.8s ourselves. Because remember, they still charge you to pre-screen them. So I can't tell you how many guys get their books back, like rejected from pre-screen. They go, I just send it in anyways. I'm like, well, why didn't you just... I think they thought that by doing it, it might increase their chances of getting a 9.8. Perhaps that's the psychology behind it. But yeah, no, I think it's a good service. Again, if you need that 9.8 and you have to, and you only want 9.8s, then that's the way to go. All right, let's keep going. We got a Fantastic Four Golden Record reprint, #1 in a 6.5. We also have, didn't break, don't worry. We also have, and I'll tell you, the books are looking pretty good. The books are looking pretty good so far. Now, these are you know, Silver Age and Bronze, but so far they look pretty good. Not many bends from what I can see. Fantastic 449 and 7.0. We also have a very classic cover, Fantastic Four 112 Hulk and Thing cover in a 7.0. Right there. We got some nice ASM books here. We got an ASM 119 in my favorite books here with the Hulk. Awesome John Romita Senior cover in a 7.5. Another FF book with a Silver Surfer. It's Fantastic 455 and an 8.0. More FF books coming your way. We got a Stanley. I can see a Stanley signature coming up too. We got a Fantastic 450. I'm going to show them over here now. Actually, I'm going to go to this screen here so I can kind of go quick. I don't want to be 2 hours like the other night. Main camera. Let's go. We got a Fantastic 450 and a 7.0. Pretty nice. We got a 9.8 copy. Obviously, it's a modern book, right, guys? We got a 9.8 copy of East of West, #1 from Image Comics. I'm not sure who this belongs to, but there you go. It's a 9.8. Any bends? And I don't see any bends. It's a nice looking copy right there. All right. We also have a 9.8 copy, another modern book. Oh, I have information on that too, actually. I got a 9.8 copy of Spider-Gwen #1, cover homage from Spider-Man #1 right there. And a 9.8. And again, the spine looks pretty good. That one book, if you watched last week, that Hulk 340, I had two 9.8s. One looked really good. One looked like it had been through the ringer. So I contacted one of the customer service people I deal with over there, and we're in talks. Basically, it's going on a case-by-case basis. So if you have a book that was affected by the bends, you want to speak to the person who submitted the books for you. Unfortunately, if someone else does your books for you, you just can't contact CGC and have them. You know, I wish they would do that. It would save me a hell of a lot of time. If you have a problem, you have to go to the person that submitted the book. So whoever that person might be. Now, some guys are going to be more apt to do that for you. Other guys are going to be like, no, I don't want to do that. Just telling you honestly. I'm going to tell you straight up that a lot of stores that do CGC submissions, they make very, very little doing this. It's more of a side service, you know? And once they have to start going back and sending books back and dealing with complaints about CGC service, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to stop offering the service. So, you know, I can't speak for anybody else. I can't stand having to do it. I know it's a part of the business. I have to do it, so I do it. But it's awful. I nothing more I hate than having to fix someone else's mess or to deal with someone else's a problem that someone else caused. Right? If it was my stupidity or my ineptitude or whatever, then so be it. I'll deal with it. But if I have to, you know, deal with someone else's incompetence and have to waste my time to fix that problem, then I get really upset about that. Again, I bring up the crack, I call it crack gate, which happened almost 2 years ago now with all the slab cracks. The amount of time I spent on that, to this day, it still aggravates me. All right, we're going to keep going here. We got a Fantastic Four. This is awesome. Number 66, and this might be the very first. I'm not sure. This might be the first Stanley authenticated book that I got back with the JSA. So there you go. Fantastic Four number 51. Very popular. This man, this monster, famous cover right there. Awesome. And what else? I think this is another one of Danon's books, an Aquaman #9. And Danon, it's we found out it was restored. Look at that. It has some glue on the inside, apparently. 2.0. We also have a Rick and Morty #1. It's a modern book. Again, this I'm looking at this. I always look at the spine now because of all the bends, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. We got a #1 and a 9.8. So that's pretty cool. And 2 more books in this particular box. We have oh well, this one I think goes with the other Spidey book. We have a Spider-Man 120 this time, 8.0. Goes a little faster when I don't do the overhead cam, so that kind of might be when I have a long conversation, a good thing to do. We have a 9.6 copy New Mutants 87, Rob Liefeld authenticated signature right there, and a 9.6. And let's check for this again. The spine looks perfectly good on that. So I told you guys, I really think that this whole Bengate thing is gonna be fixed like lickety split. As I started noticing these problems going back to probably late May, June, right? And it wasn't happening all the time. Then it started happening a little bit more, and then people started talking about it. And as soon as the people started talking about it, and then what happened like a week ago with that other presser who made a big deal about it and contacted CGC, and stopped taking CGC books to kind of make a statement. I think it got, a lot of the YouTube people were talking about it. It got back to CGC, and they're obviously aware of it. And I told you, they're going to deal with it. And I'm pretty sure, like, it's at least 50% human error. Okay, I have to reset this. Now, people were always complaining about commercials the wrong. I'm going to put a commercial in right now so I can get my other pack of books going in. I hope you haven't seen any commercials yet. I'm going to try this. Now would be a good time to insert. I'm going to try to insert an ad right now. Okay, here, I think the ad's starting. I'll be right back. I hope it's starting. Give me 1 sec. All right, put those here. I have no idea if the ad started or not. I'll go over to the I have a feeling it didn't. I'm going to go over to the chat while this is going on. Actually, I'll go over here too as I pack these away. Oh boy. Okay. JSS Brooklyn says, can rehabbed little brittle pages still get a blue label from CGC? Thank you. Rehabbed? What do you mean rehabbed? Do you mean like the books that have been deacidified? Is that what you're talking about? Peter G says, yes, looking forward to seeing the books. You did? Okay, wait, I jumped a lot here. Oh, there's Peter says, great work on the books. You're welcome, Pete. Winston says, hello. How you doing, Winston? Good to see you. How's invoices coming along? Well, I invoiced about 25 people yesterday, and I got a stack of another 25 right there that I got to do. About 250 books are heading to CGC as we speak. So I got to invoice more people, and then I've got another box to send to CGC hopefully early next week. Those of you that give me videos and video games, I still don't think I've got enough to send, but I'm going to check. I'm getting close. Yeah, this is going to be very awkward to do this now the way I've got it. Eric says, as at risk of giving it away, you mentioned a book recently that someone had that made you a little pink with. Oh, no way. I know exactly what it is. No way, Eric. Don't be doing that. I think I know what Eric did. The first appearance of Pink Panther. If you gave me that, I'm going to be very, very happy. Thank you, if that's the case. You should have given it away, Eric. That was way too easy of a hint. But thank you. I hope so. Synthetic Panels, how are you, Synthetic Panels? You're a new viewer. Where are you watching us from? Steven's here. Mr. Capehart. Cool Hand Luke, hi from Montreal. Hello from Montreal. As for Montreal, pretty much, I think almost done all Montreal submissions. like the signature series stuff was done a long time ago, but all the books that were sent in for pressing and grading at Montreal pretty much are all pretty much are almost done. Like, we're reviewing them, they're almost done. They should be heading out to CGC within a week and a half. So moving along pretty well. All signature series books from Fan Expo are almost done being pressed, those that need to be pressed. And those should be heading off also next week. If I got enough time, and I need 4 more hours in a day. That'd be great. No ad yet. Okay, well, you know what? Whatever then. What's the turnaround time for clean and press if I don't want to submit it? About a month and a half. Month and a half. I felt bad today. Chuck came to see me today to pick up his books. And Chuck comes over, and he's from Toronto, and he comes over and he gives me his submission form. And I go, I don't have I gave him books that he handed in June. And they're done. And he goes, well, what about my April books? I go, April books? What are you talking about? April books? April books, you should have gotten those back a million years ago. What are you talking about? He goes, Kevin, these books, I handed them in back in April. I haven't gotten them back yet. And you give me these June ones. Where are the April ones? I'm like, okay. Look, there's only 2 places the books can be. Charlie goes, did you send them to CGC like I did with Dannon's book? No, I didn't send them because I would have billed them if I had done that. Or I would have created an invoice. I would have known. So I'm like, where the hell? So I start going through all my binder. My binder, there's no invoice in the binder. I start going through all my safes. I open up all the safes. I keep looking. There's nothing there. And then, of course, Napur finds them in the back of the big safe. And I have an order that belongs to another guy from Toronto. And we keep, like strangers in the night, we keep passing. And I haven't sent them back to him. And Chuck's books were with his. Like, they were like his books and then Chuck's books. So I found, they're all done. They've been done for a long time. So anyways, Chuck was happy. He got 2 orders back today. They were probably done quickly, not that long after April, but right now, as of right now, about a month and a half to get your books back, maybe even sooner, depending on how many books you have. Gord says the ads are for your monetization. I'm good with the, oh, thanks so ever, man. It's trying to tell me when to play them. I don't know. I don't want to burden people with ads, right? Haggard says, LOL. Dave Bazin says, going to be away for on a 50th birthday cruise until lucky you, man. Don't worry about it. If you don't worry about it. Enjoy. Happy birthday. Happy 50th. I remember that day. It seemed like yesterday, and it's like 3 years ago. Mr. Chandler. Oh, it worked. Okay. I got the ad. Okay, you all got ads. All right. Here we go. So this is the next batch. See right here. This is how it works. Right there. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they put 10, they stack 10 like this in the new bundle, and they give you a small stack of 5. So you have 5 and 2 10s, and the box is quite large. And the funny thing is, the old CGC boxes weighed around 27 pounds. These are bigger boxes. They weigh about 23 pounds. So they're actually lighter. So the FedEx person's probably quite happy that they're not quite as heavy as before. But let's get these suckers out if I can. Now, some of these, I think I see a lot of ASMs. All right, these are Mike's books. Mike's been waiting for these. All right. Okay, so Mike bought a huge Amazing Spider-Man collection. And as we've been going, oh my goodness, we've been discovering a lot of books are missing pages. It's always the same one, page 3, page 3, page 3. Here we go again. We got a few more. So we got a qualified page 3 missing, Amazing Spider-Man 49. Gorgeous copy, at 6.5, unfortunately missing page 3. Guys, the same thing happened to me. I bought those books in that collection a few months back, and several of the books were missing ad pages, which was very frustrating. And sometimes, my friends, the ads are missing. The person who cut them so well that you don't even notice it. It's very hard to, unless you're really looking for it. It's hard to notice. Even color touch. We talk about color touch. Kevin, you guys look for color touch. Well, if it's there, if the color touch is obvious or we see it, of course we're going to report it to you and ask if you want the book to be, to continue with the work or to stop. Well, Ash from Montreal had a ASM 50. It came back a 7, I think it was, or a 7.5 color touch, and I couldn't see the color touch anywhere. So he says, Kevin, crack it and have a look. So I finally got around to cracking it today and had a look. And I'm going, where in the hell is the color touch? Where is the color touch? I'm looking. I can't see it. And someone said, do you use special lights, Kevin? No, I use these. I use my peepers. I can usually find color touch without any special lights. I mean, I just, after doing this for long enough, you kind of know the telltale signs. But I couldn't see it on this book yet. So I opened the book up, and right there, I could see very faintly some marker bleed through. Very faint, though. And so, yeah. Now, to remove that color touch, it's going to hurt the book quite a bit. It's going to drop from a 7.5 probably down to like a 4. But it's a gorgeous book. So I got to contact Ash and see what he thinks. All right, let's keep going. Another one. The other one we have the 5.5 ASM 48. It's also qualified, missing the exact same page, page 3. All right, we have a Amazing Spider-Man 35 and a 5.0. Here we go. These books they pressed out really nice, man. They look really, really good, though. 5.0 ASM 35. Guys, if you like your vintage ASM, don't go anywhere. I got a lot. I got this whole box, I think, is all old Spider-Man, so don't go anywhere. We got an ASM 36 and a 6.0. Blue label, thank goodness. Once the stack gets high, I'll go back to the big screen and we'll see it that way. That way I don't have to stop, just keep going. And then after this box, we'll talk about we'll talk about the ripoff artists that exist among us, all of us comic book collectors, or us honest comic book collectors. 4.0 of an ASM 37. Love these old Romita covers and some Ditko covers in here too. We've got a 38 and a 6.0. Nothing wrong with this. That's a good grade, man. 6.0 in these. I'll take them. I'll take them all day long. Another 6.0 here. Nice copy of ASM 39. That pressed out really good. Wow. Looks really good. And then a 5.5 copy of number 40. I like to see the defects on these 5.5s, you know, and I'm going to tell you, people want to learn how to grade books. Examine the books that are graded, like examine them. You know, I'm looking at this book and I'm seeing it's a 5.5. I'm like, okay, why is it not a 6 like this one? And I'm seeing the spine on this one's a little bit more haggard than that one. Other than that, it's a pretty solid looking book. There we go, the 5.5, and then okay, I'll show you this one. Pretty hot now since that Kraven the Hunter trailer. We have Amazing Spider-Man 41. First appearance of the Rhino. Bang, right there. And a 6.0. Not a bad grade at all. All right, I'll put this over here. And then we have an ASM number 42. Right there. And a 5.0. So, again, I don't know if the original owner of this collection bought these books right off the stand. But here you're seeing books, again, these all belong to one person, and the grades are, you know, 5, 5.5, 6, you know, you're in that range. And that's very, very, very common. Just like I said, you know, with regards to Peter's DC books, you know, and it's funny, Peter will say, well, when I was younger, obviously I didn't take as good care of the books. As I got older, I was a little bit more conscientious about the books. I was, you know, handling the books and taking care of the books. So as the years went on, the books were in better condition. That makes total sense, right? I think we all can relate to that. Let me pull these ones away, then I'll grab the other one, and let's go back to the chat really quick and see what you guys are saying. Where's the chats? Right there. All right. I got the ads. I had an ad. JSS says, Doc, I'm sorry. Regarding brittle pages and blue label, I guess the question is better presented as how to avoid restoration label if you help them. Okay, I'm confused again. You mean how? Okay, so look at if you've got a book that's got brittle pages and you want to do something about it, the only thing you really can do with brittle pages, and again, if the book is crumbling and falling apart, there's probably not much you can do. It could be sometimes a book's too far gone to do much. But if you want to strengthen a book, a cover of a book, if you want to strengthen, in fact, the interior of the book too. If you want to strengthen the interior, if you want to strengthen the book, the cover of the book, the whole book, an aqueous wash, deacidification of the book is in order. Okay, I've seen it. Like Nipoor's done it. She's deacidified. I wouldn't say books that are falling apart, like brittle books, but she's done books that are very tanned. And by doing so, it makes the paper, it removes all the acids from the paper, and it kind of breathes new life into the book. And believe it or not, it strengthens the book. Now, if you do this, that's proper conservation. That's breathing life back into this book. It's making the paper strong again. It's adding moisture back into the book, and it's whitening the book actually too, and it's strengthening the paper. So it's not brittle anymore, or tan and brittle. So that should garner you a blue label with a silver stripe conserved. It should. Now, that being said, I've heard people have sent books in after they've washed them, and they're coming back with, now where am I going to put these? Here. And they're coming back with simply blue labels. And I've also heard people get restored labels. So to answer your question, it's a very difficult thing to do, because this all goes back to the inconsistency that is CGC. Now, that being said, unless someone is forthright with CGC and says, hey, listen, this is what I've done to this book, just so you know, they have to sometimes figure it out for themselves. They have to be detectives in a way. They have to sleuth it. They got to say, okay, you know what? Kevin sent in these books. He's given us no information about it. This book appears to have been washed. Appears to have been washed. May not have been. Maybe it was exposed to water in another fashion, but they may take that as being washed. So perhaps they're going to give it a conserved grade. I've also seen people who've given me books that were like naturally lightened by like being exposed to sunlight, and it's getting like a purple label saying that the cover's been lightened, but it hasn't been lightened. It was exposed to sunlight naturally, so it's damaged, yes, but has it been conserved? No. Again, there's no, the problem is there's no open communication with CGC when you're, I mean, I could write on a book what I've done to the book, and I sometimes think that would be probably the best thing to do. That way they know exactly what they're looking at, and there's no guess. And I think I know I've gone on a tangent there. I've not really answered your question completely. Like, how to maintain that blue label? It's really difficult to, because even books that are blue label are coming back purple and coming out back conserved, even if nothing has been done to those books. I've seen it myself. I've seen it myself because I've taken them out, sent them back, and they've come back blue. So how is that for consistency, right? There is none. So that's the problem. I don't think I answered your question, JSS, and I do apologize for that. But I mean, that's a very hard question. If you're asking about BLED and lightning pages and such, it's a gamble, man. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. Today, I was looking at an ASM 129. It came up back by a customer. A customer handed it in, and it would really, a BLED would really, I think, enhance the book. He didn't ask for a BLED. I'm not going to do the BLED in the book. He didn't ask for it, and I'm probably not even I'm not even going to upsell it to him because. Again, with BLED, you are taking a risk. You're taking a bit of a gamble. Could it help your book? Yes, sure. It'll make your book look fantastic. And will you get a blue label? Maybe. I can't guarantee it. I'm not the one grading it, so I can't guarantee that. If I could guarantee it, I'd be much more apt to promote that service. So I tend to leave that service to people come in and ask, Kevin, can you do it? If they ask, sure we can. But there's a risk involved, as long as people know that. All right. What else is going on here? We have JS. Oh, thanks for the tip, JS says Brooklyn. Appreciate that. Drum roll in the books. Thanks, Doc. Thank you for the $5 tip. Much appreciated. Haven't seen a tip in a very long time. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Dan said, did you figure out that 7.5 reverse flash from a month back that apparently had color touch? That one's going in soon. We just finished because the gentleman who delivered those books to us, he wanted us to do some more books. So we finished his other books. They're done. And we're going to send that book back and see what happens. Again, I think that book book's going to come back just fine, I think. Classic cover. Here's some more classic covers, guys. Give me a sec. Ugh. All right. We got a few more. This is really, all right, I got 25. I'll put that in here like so. Okay. We got more books here. Whoop. That goes there. All these bubble wrap everywhere. All right, let's go to the overhead cam again. I think I got enough just for this. We'll continue with some more Rhino books. You like Rhino? Here we go. I'll tell you, I'm not seeing any cracks on these books. We have an Amazing Spider-Man 43, second appearance of Rhino, I believe. Overhead cam is right there. And a 4.0. We've got a 6.0 copy, gee whiz, a 6.5 copy of Amazing Spider-Man 40, or sorry, 6.0 copy, ASM 44 with a classic lizard cover. 45, unfortunately, another, again, page 3 is missing. Someone searched that up. I have a feeling page 3 is an ad page or a poster or something, I would assume, because they're always page 3, 6.5 on this one. Qualified. Thank goodness the Shocker book is a 6.5 blue. Love that book. And then we got a 7.0 Kraven the Hunter appearance in number 47. I believe Mike has a full run now from number 1 all the way up to like in excess of 100, like 100 and, 140, something like that, or even more. It was a huge, huge run. And we did all these books, all these Amazing Spider-Man books. It was a great, great collection. All right, so we got those. Let me grab the other box over here. Okay, there's a big one. 10 in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have. This is not really a good. This is not a good deal to do this with. It's not a good idea to do this with an unboxing. It takes so much time. Well, they even have their logo on the bubble wrap. Look at that, CGC Comics. There it goes, back there somewhere. Okay, here we go. We got a 5.5 copy of number 25. I sold one of those at the Fan Expo. I think I did it. Man, the one thing that sells at Fan Expo, Amazing Spider-Man. We got a 0.5 copy of Amazing Spider-Man 26, page 3 and 14 missing. Page 3 and 14 missing. And you're going to say, well, why isn't it qualified? I believe they gave it a 0.5 because, okay, they gave it a 0.5 because those pages were missing. I have a feeling that if you sent these qualified books back and said, please give it a blue label, you're going to get like grades like that. So again, where's the consistency? That should be a qualified book in a high, because this book is not a 0.5. This book's probably like around a 3. It's about a 3, but they gave it a 0.5 and made note that 2 pages were missing. Anyways, consistencies. Oh, here we go. Here's a good example. A green copy here. Amazing Spider-Man 27, page 14 missing. Now on these early ones, it's page 14 that tends to be missing. On what do you call it? On the later ones, it seems to be the page, was it page 9, I think it was? So it's a little different. Okay, my stack is too high now. I'm going to have to go to my large screen here. 40 of you guys like the page. Please, guys, hit that like button. It does help my analytics out quite a bit. It lets people know that I'm live. It lets people know that we're active. We're having fun over here, and they come back and watch and join us. And they join us in our conversations. Okay. Derek says classic cover. Oh, that jumped up a little bit there. Wow. Gord, I wonder what was on page 3 as I don't have any books that old. Yes, yeah, you will, Gord, but someone will have a look, I think. I gave up on buying moderns as I'm sinking all my hobby budget into early. Sam, nothing wrong with that. I think it's a good idea. I think early ASMs they're blue chip, man. Everybody wants ASM books. They're just great art, great stories, classic covers, and any grade, whether you have a book in a 1.5 or a book up in a 6 or an 8. 9s would be nice, but you know what? Nothing wrong with that. Mr. Chandler says, all of those old school Spider-Man books look fantastic, even if they are missing ads. Yes, they do, of course. Haggarth says, I'm fairly new to the grading community. Why grade them with missing pages? Well, no, that wasn't, we didn't know they were graded. Now, and I've told people this before, when we do the books, we don't count the pages. If we see something that's obviously gone, like torn out or ripped out or color touch, we will notify. This was a very large collection that was purchased from one owner. And I think we're seeing a lot of these pages missing because the owner took the pages out. The original owners probably took the pages out. And so I often tell people, before you send the books in, you count the pages, you make sure there's no color touch as best as you can. And then between the both of us, hopefully we'll catch it, but we don't always catch it. In this case, we didn't catch it. So yeah, that happens. But yeah, I think if they were green, well, I think the owner may be selling some of these. So I think he likes, in a way, that has been divulged as well, because when you go to sell a book, and like, I'll give you an example. When I was at Fan Expo, I was selling old Spider-Man books. I was opening them up and looking through them, because I don't want to sell somebody a book then they get home and they discover, oh, the jerk, he sold me a book that didn't have that's missing this page or whatever. So I kind of go through it. I think this fella, the gentleman who owns these books, wants to present these books as they are. And so, and that's what CGC is here for, right? To kind of to find these things that are missed by us that are cursively going through them, right? Don't do that. The person did not do diligence and go through the book and count. There you go. That's what Bad Armor just said it as concisely as I said. Derek Kudo, do you ever show books that haven't been sent to CGC, like my Silver Surfer 1 and 4? I'd love to see some before and after pics of the work you do. Derek, your books are done. Not really. I used to do a show called What's in the Press, where I would show the books before they went in the press. But you know what I discovered? There's only 24 hours in the day, and I couldn't do both shows. So I'm just doing the books as they come back from CGC. And also, we don't do before and afters of every single book. Just again, the time constraints are as they are. I just can't. We got to get the books done. If we're sitting there honestly, to take pictures of everybody's books, it would be another, you know, it would just slow us way down. Unfortunately, I'd love to do it, but unfortunately, we don't. JSS says, thank you, Doc. I appreciate your time very much, and your patience. And I hear you. Thank you, man. Thanks very much. Marco says, hey, Kevin, I'm watching live from the gym. Well, you keep working out there, man. You do your steps. I should be at the gym myself. Eric, yeah, that was too easy. It's low grade, but was languishing in my overflow bin, so it needs a good home. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I look forward to it. I'm starting to collect those old cartoon books, right? I love them. So I saw that Pink Panther book that Kevin had. I'm like, oh, I want that book. So thanks, man. I look forward to getting it. Trevor says, you're going to make a bouncy castle at the end of the show. Yeah, I can with all this bubble wrap. Danon says, I think page 3 is usually the poster or large panel. Some kid may cut them out and put them up on their wall. So well, yeah, no, it's always the same one. It's always the same one. Derek says, Carlo and Kevin, thank you. Portugal's amazing. Super excited to see my babies you fixed for me, Kev. That Surfer 4 cover is my favorite cover. Well, they're ready for you when you get back. Safe travels, Derek. Dave House, good evening, Doc. Great shows lately. Thanks, Dave. Good seeing you. Bad Armor says, those cartoon books always have beautiful covers. I love them. I never, ever cared about them. But lately, boy, yeah, I'm starting to really dig them. So, yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right. Did I show you the Molten Man book yet? I don't think I have. Molten Man number what? Number 28, Spider number 28, first Molten Man. Hard book to get in a high grade because of the black cover, and that's in a 2.5. I got a bunch here left to go, and then we'll move on. Then we got an amazing, let me go to the big screen here. We got an amazing Spider, then we're going to talk. We're going to talk serious in a sec. Amazing Spider-Man number 29 in a 6.0 early Scorpion issue. We have an Amazing Spider-Man 30 in a 5.0. Big book coming up next. Nothing wrong with that. That pressed out really nice. You know what's nice about these books in 4s and 5s is they're actually somewhat affordable. Unless, of course, you're talking about this book. This one here is probably one of the more expensive ones. First appearance of Gwen Stacy, Harry Osborn. And a 4.5. This book's probably a $500 book just as it sits, I think. Not a bad book. Maybe even a little bit more. Maybe even a little bit more. Pretty awesome. We also have an Amazing Spider-Man 32 and a 5.0. Beautiful Ditko piece. We got number 33 here. One of my favorite Ditko covers and a lot of people's favorite cover right here. Number 33, famous, crumbling building water cover right there in a 5.0. I had this book in a 9.6. It was the highest grade I ever had of an ASM book. And I traded it away for a first appearance of Doctor Strange. And of course, that Strange Tales 110 was like a 3.5 or a 4, but it was still a first Doctor Strange. And a Ditko piece as well. And then finally in this box, we've got an Amazing Spider-Man 34 and a 4.0 right there. And I have one more box to show you. I got 4 more boxes. I'm not doing that, guys. The next 3 we'll see next week. I got one more box to show you. I would not be a bit surprised if the next box is more Spider-Man. It could be. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be. But let's talk a little bit about what I said in my thumbnail. I want to talk to you a bit about being very careful with who you trust with your books. I was always amazed when I first started doing this. I remember Ken Talek from Kingston, very early on in my pressing career, gave me a copy of Amazing Fantasy 15. He came over, dropped off the book, and he said, "I'll see you when it's ready." And I said, "Okay." And I wasn't CGCing back then. I was just pressing the books. And this guy comes to my house, meets me for the very first time, and drops off, at that time, probably a $3,000-$4,000 comic book, and says, "See you later." And he trusted me with it. I was always quite, I say, I was very honored, I guess you could say, that he trusted me with that. That my that in that short time that we got to know each other, over the phone, and then when he came to see me, that he trusted me with that book. And I never take that for granted. Any book, whether it be a $10 book or a $10,000 book, it belongs to you, right? And so for when you're handing over your property to me to take care of, to be a custodian over your property, I take that responsibility very seriously. I treat it as though it's my own. And so when I hear of other people that are doing this business, and not just pressing and cleaning, but sending books to CGC, or even just running a comic book store, and perhaps consigning books or whatever, and I hear of them abusing that trust, it pisses me off. And I'll tell you, what happened a few weeks ago with Mike DeChellis at Hero Restoration, you all know the whole story. If you haven't, go look it up. This guy, was trusted for years and years as being the aficionado of comic book pressing and restoration, and he was on all the YouTube channels, and he was very well regarded, and people knew him and trusted him, and they were sending him. And I'm not talking about $5,000, $10,000. I'm talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 books. Batman #1s, Detective Comics 27, 31, 29, all the biggies, right? And this guy took that trust and just pissed all over it. And when I heard this was going on, at first I'm like, no. It's just got to be an explanation. There's got to be an explanation. Nobody builds a business up over 10 years and then just pisses it away like the way he did. No one takes that trust that people give to him and then throw it back in their face. But this guy did. And when that happened, I was really quite shocked by it all and quite upset. It really bothered me for several days. And I got to thinking about all the times I've heard stories from many of you locally, RP who comes on here sometimes, how I did work for him for a very long time. And then as you know, my wait time became really, really long. At one point I was like 9 months before you got your books back, sometimes 11 months. It was at the when CGC's time was slow and my time was slow, I was working by myself. I was really behind, and people who knew me and wanted to wait for the service, they did. And other people want to get their books back. They want to move them or whatever. So he went somewhere else. And boy, oh boy, it was a 2-year punishment for that guy. And what this other dude put him through was ridiculous. And I've talked about it on the show here. He promised to press the books, grade the books. And not only did he promise to do so, he took money up front from this guy and then strung him along for over a year and a half. And I remember it very carefully because my dad was in the hospital near, in his end days, and RP calls me up and he says, and I know it kind of helped me get my mind off what was happening with my father. So I kind of didn't mind, to be honest. But what he was telling me, this guy was bold-faced lying to him about the status of his books and where his books were and whatever, and he's feeding him all a bunch of bullshit. And I couldn't believe he was being put through this. And the funny thing is, I knew who this guy was, and I even offered, I said, tell the guy I'm happy to get involved to help him. If he's having a problem with CGC, I'll get involved, happy to help. And I wasn't making a penny doing that. I just wanted to see this guy get his books back. And eventually he did get his books back. They were not pressed as he was told they were. They were never sent to CGC as he was told they were. It was an absolute shit show. But the aggravation and frustration and stress this guy went through for almost a year and a half to 2 years was totally uncalled for. And I get very upset when I hear people doing that to others. Which brings me to the next story. So I'm at Fan Expo, and again, I'm not mentioning any names. Don't even ask. I'm not going to tell you. Even if you text me after the fact, I'm not going to tell you who. But a guy came up to me at the show, and he had some very, 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 very big books. Okay. And then he proceeded to ask about, about CPRing and all that kind of stuff. And I gave him my advice on what I think he should do. I introduced him to somebody else who actually has a great eye for doing high value CPR, and they talked. And then he divulged that a Canadian dealer has several books of his, and he's had them for over 4 years. 4 years he's had these guys, and maybe even longer than that. And again, guys, I'm not talking about, Amazing Spider-Man 361 or ASM 300 or Hulk 181. I'm talking monster books, very high grade, very big books, Silver Age Grails in the 9s. And he was promised that these books would be pressed and cleaned and regraded and all this kind of stuff. And he's been given the rigmarole, the runaround for over 4 years. Oh, they're being done. Don't worry. Oh, and this guy has been stringing him along 4 years. And you're going to say, well, why doesn't he call the police? Why doesn't he do something about that? It's a little complicated. It's a little complicated. The guy deep down does not believe that this person is trying to cause him any malice whatsoever. He's taking him for his word. But as I hear this story, I'm like, that's bullshit. Bullshit. You don't take someone's property, especially when it's worth like 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000, and don't give that man the respect he deserves and get those books back to him. He's basically stole the guy's books as far as I'm concerned. But I think so much time has gone by now, I don't even know if he has a case if you were to call the police. I just can't believe somebody in our community would be that disgusting that they would hold this person's books hostage. And another thing, this guy does not want to bring it up. He does not want to call the police. He does not want to take matters in a legal fashion because he's afraid that if he does that, it's going to anger this person and therefore he'll never get his books back. I tell you guys, it took, I can't go off and I can't get involved. It's not my place or my business to get involved. I was told not to get involved and I'm not going to get involved. But when I hear that and I see the guy's face, I can see he's so upset. I think back to RP and what he went through, and RP's books were not worth anywhere near what this guy's books were, but still, they were his property. They were his books. He was promised a service and was not given that service in return. He was given a bum ride. This guy has been given a bum ride by a person who's in the comic book industry, who is trusted by many, I'll tell you right now. And this guy trusted this person wholeheartedly and still has faith that this guy is going to come through. And if you are watching, you know who you are, do the right thing and give this guy his books back if you are out there. Because holding those books hostage and keeping this guy strung along, I think he sold the books personally, because I can't understand why the books are not back. And guys, I wish I could tell you the books. I wish I could tell you who we're talking about. I can't. I'm not going to do that. And again, if you guys start guessing, I'm not going to even answer. Please don't even try to guess who these people are. All I'm saying is, my friends, be careful. Our hobby is monetized. You know that. There's a lot of money wrapped up in these books. And where there's money, where there's blood in the water, the sharks come to feed. And these people are doing just that. Be very careful who you work with. And I'm not telling you have to work with me. Again, I never tell you, oh, I'm the only presser you know. There's tons of great pressers out there. Be very cautious. Don't hand over your books. Make sure there's a contract. Make sure you have everything in writing. Don't go to if a comic book store is taking your books and sending them to CGC, you make sure you have every single thing in writing. I have guys that come to my shop and they take pictures of their books. Fine, take the pictures. I prefer it. Take the pictures, get everything in writing, have them sign off on shit. You sign off, make it all above board. There's no friends. Oh, this comic book store owner is my friend. He will never screw me. Never mind that. Forget about it. It's not about being friends, or it's about being above board, and make sure everything's in writing and everything documented before you hand your collectibles, your possessions over to somebody else. This is anything you do in life, obviously, but in comic books, we have a tendency to trust people because, oh, they're kindred spirits. They're comic book nerds like us. Yeah, there's comic book nerds out there and there's sharks out there who are going to take advantage of that kindness and that trust you give. So be very, very careful. I could not believe when this guy was telling me this story. I couldn't believe it. I want to say more. I can't. Let me see what you guys have to say. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Okay, what did it do? Very simple art, but yeah, okay, Dan, that book will probably go up. There were some rumors this week that Gwen Stacy's coming to the. Oh, she will for sure. That book's huge. I sold a really nice copy at Fan Expo. I should have got it graded probably, but I just wanted to get rid of it. Eric, ASM 31, and that grade is around 4 to 425. Currently still solid value. It is. He's got a case. Key Comics. He's got a case. Okay, what's going on? I agree with that. Much money on the line. It should be a rapid turnaround. Any reputable dealer would not want that kind of liability to hold on to much valuable assets. Exactly. Disgusting is right. Dannon, I think he's got a case and has multiple options, but it's disappointing when people take advantage when the client is not in the same province, country. Makes me appreciate I live close to the dock. Listen, what I'm talking to you about, these previous people live close. They're close to each other. It's not a long distance thing. It's a close thing. You know, it's totally wrong. Kevin MVP, for me as a buyer, the worst that ever happened was buying a batch of books without buyer protection, and the seller obviously didn't send you all of them that were stated in the listing. Oh shit. Well, that's worse. Exactly. Listen, when you're buying books, use gifts and service. No, sorry. No, use goods and service if you're using PayPal. Use it. It protects you. It protects everybody involved. 100%. If they're saying friends and family only, say, no. You know what? Charge me 5-10% more. I want goods and service. Charge me 10%. Pay that 10%. What is it? $10? $20? Pay for that insurance. Pay for that insurance. If someone's insistent on only using friends and family, tell them to buzz off. Lots of fish in the sea. Go buy your books somewhere else. They're good. That to me is a huge red flag. If a person wants to only use, look, if it's a $20 book, okay, whatever. If you don't mind taking a gamble on that. But if you're spending $100, $200, $500, $1,000 goods and service, or or if they're local, go pick it up in person. Candid Comic Guy, sad that people do this. Document everything with dates 100%. 100%. It's a transaction. You're working with a comic book dealer. He's sending your books to CGC. You need paperwork. Paperwork. Now, I send your books to CGC. I don't give you the CGC paperwork. That's my paperwork. That being said, if you really want to know what the CGC invoice number is of your order, I'll give it to you. I don't care. You can call them. They may or may not give you information on that. They may or may not. You can't look it up on the computer. But you have my invoice number. You have my paperwork. You've hired me as an agent for you to do that work for you. Don't worry about it. You have my paperwork. But I've heard people not wanting to give the CGC invoice number. Well, why would you not want to give? What's the big friggin' deal? Well, why would you not give if someone's doing the CGC, your books, like, do I have one here? Do I have one here? Oh, here. This is an old one. This is my buddy Roy. You know Roy. Roy gave me an order back in this, like, a long time ago. And there's his CGC order number right there. That's Roy. That's an old order. And that's his invoice number. That's for me. I can look up that order on CGC. Big deal. But I've heard people tell me that they won't give me the CGC invoice number. Really? They don't need to. It's not of any use to you, because I don't think CGC will even actually give you information because you're not the person submitting. But if you want it, take it. I don't care. It's not something that's going to give away personal information about me. So I don't understand when dealers are so, ooh, you're not going to do that, right? Eric, someone somewhere who knows who this is need to speak up, save a future person from also getting a bunch of ride. I do respect wanting to avoid I can't do it, man. As much as I want to, I can't. I don't want to start shit. I'm only hearing one side of the story. Maybe there's more to the story that I'm unaware of, but from what I hear, and listen, I'll tell you, it's not the first time I've heard stuff about this person. Another customer of mine a long time ago had run-ins as well. And they did go to the police, and shit went down, and shit was solved. And I explained that to this person. I say, go the legal route. Go to legal route. Put pressure, and then maybe you'll get your books back or get some answers. Because my God, guys, it would make you, You'd faint if you saw the books that were taken from him. It's disgusting. This crap happens every industry, whether it's comic, toys, trading cards. It sucks. Dave House says, even CGC does not want that kind of exposure to risk. They'll fast track those big books and get them out of there. Exactly. Trevor, is there any way for this guy to contact CGC himself and see if anything? No. Look I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's books never went to CGC. I'm telling you, this guy didn't do anything. This guy has big buyers with deep pockets, and I'm pretty confident he sold those books. Even me, I don't want big books hanging around. Big books come in, I try to get them done as quickly as possible and out of here. I don't want them hanging around. Like you said, it's a liability. This guy's has these books for years. Like, I'm talking 4 years, 5 years. Ridiculous. Otme's here. How long is your turnaround time for clean and press? About 4 to 6 weeks just for the clean and press. Maybe a bit quicker. We're just finishing up. We had to expedite the Fan Expo Signature Series stuff. So because of that, that's kind of taken a precedence, but that's almost done, and we should be getting back to normal in no time. Anyways, guys, why do I bring this up? Why do I talk about scumbags and con artists? Because they're out there. The sharks are out there. Be cautious. If you're not sure, ask somebody you trust. Ask each other. You guys have dealt with various vendors. You've dealt with other pressers. You've dealt with other sellers. Like I said, other CGC submitters. You guys know who's on the up and up and who isn't. You've dealt with them. Talk to each other. The scary thing about this story I told you, though, is the perpetrator of this. Again, I don't want to give anything away. I'm trying to be very careful how I say this. The perpetrator of this is well regarded. For the most part, he's well regarded. And that's why I'm very hesitant on being very, more vocal about it. It's not my job to come up here and point fingers and start fights. I don't like drama. I don't want that. Just be very cautious, my friends. Don't hand over big dollar books until even guys who come to see me, they hand over big books. I don't. I even say that. Start small. Start with small orders, low value books. Make sure you like if you're working with a presser or someone doing your CGC submission, make sure you like the way they handle their business. Make sure you like the way they operate. Like, you guys that work with me, you know how I do things. You know my routine. You know how long it takes. You know you're going to get an invoice. You know I don't charge you up front. You get all that. Everybody's different. Everyone has a different way of doing things. Work with different. If you're working with somebody, make sure you like the way they operate. And if you like the way they operate, then maybe start increasing their order, or giving more valuable books, or books you feel you can trust them with. I've talked about insurance here before. Make sure they're insured. For shipping insurance, especially, make sure they have it. I guarantee a lot of guys don't, and they say they do, but they don't. It's expensive. Shipping insurance is freaking expensive. Most of my insurance, my fees for insurance, most of that comes from the shipping insurance is the expensive part. So be very, very careful about that. Anyways, any questions? If you're ever really unsure about the way something's going down, if you're doing CGC with somebody else, again, I don't mind you doing that. Go ahead. But if you're not sure if something should be going the way it's going, send me a text, send me an email. I'm happy to respond and give you my 2 cents worth, But everybody has a different process. That's it. You just have to like the way they're doing things. And if you start getting a queasy feeling, or you feel like you're being ripped off, or you feel like something just doesn't seem right, just step back, take a breather, and say, I'm going to think about it. Let me think about this. I'll get back to you, and think about it and make sure it feels right for you. If it doesn't feel right, I've had guys come to my shop and I could tell they're very hesitant, and I don't blame them. I'd be hesitant too, And on that note, if you have worked with me and you do like, or you have been happy with my service, I would certainly appreciate a Google review. I'm trying to get my Google reviews up. I'm at 121 now and going well. So if you have time, head on over to Google, type in Comic Doctor, leave me a review. Not that you have to write a paragraph, but just a couple of words to say what you thought about how I do things. I'd certainly appreciate that. I think a lot of guys don't have Google reviews, or don't have very many. I think I'm one of the one of the only ones that have like over 100 Google reviews. But I'd like to get up to 200. That'd be fantastic. So if you wouldn't mind, if you have a moment, go over there and do that. That'd be much appreciated. Dave says, got to leak this story to Sticky. No way, man. He doesn't mind the drama. At the end of the day, they'll know exactly where it came from, Dave. Come on. At the end of the day, helping each other is key to avoid getting scammed, like 9.9 newsstands whistleblowing. Yes. You know, going after a corporation like CGC is one thing, but going after a comic shop, I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. I just be careful, guys. Be careful. No, I get it. I totally get it. Stay out, but someone will eventually. Yeah, someone will. Oh, someone already has. It has been. I'm not the first one to talk about this particular establishment, but I haven't done so. They've been pretty. You know, they've been staying pretty clean the last few years until I heard this. Okay, what's going on here? Trevor says, I started with Omega Men 3 and you did an amazing job with it. Thanks, Trevor. Yeah, Trevor came a few months back now, and the first thing, it was one copy of Omega Man number 3, you know, and I think he was happy with the service. He's been coming back pretty regularly, and that's what you want to do. You want to establish a relationship. Okay. I have oh my God, I got so many books. How am I going to do this? Woo, how am I going to do this? All right, guys. Give me 1 sec. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I gotta grab the other books are right over there, and I got a big pile of books. I have no box to put these in. That's what sucks. Let me just rearrange the room really quickly. I'll be right back. It's gonna go quiet for a second. I wish I could put an ad. I don't think I'm gonna start an ad, but maybe I will put an ad in here. I'm gonna enable. Oh, there. I just added an ad. Hopefully it'll start. Give me a second. I'll be right back. It's gonna go quiet for a sec. All right. Here we go. Oh man, this is. I have to figure something out with this, my friends. This is not going to work. I have to bring some boxes from the shop, like CGC boxes, and I have to unpack all of these things ahead of the time. Unfortunately, I used to like just pulling them out of the box. It was a little more spontaneous. But if they're going to start using these giant boxes, it's not going to work anymore, unfortunately. Okay, so here we go. These are several orders, and I think they're modern. So let's get, or some are modern anyway. Let's. Or is that there? Are these magazines? No. Oh, are there? Oh, there's some magazines. Oh, we got some. Woo! All right, we got some magazines, and we got some comics. We got a whole bunch here. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. So first off, we've got. Oh, wow! Someone's gonna be very happy. All right, we've got a primer number 2, Matt Wagner authenticated autograph in a 9.4. These are some nice ones, guys. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot. We got a really big signature series book here. Oh, we got some nice magazines here, so don't go anywhere. Where's my overhead cam? Right there. Okay, primer. Okay, first appearance of Grendel. And then this is awesome. We got authenticated 9.8 copy. I can't imagine what this is worth. I'm sure it's worth quite a bit now. Mark Hamill on Star Wars #1. What a great copy. Not a huge fan of Mark Hamill lately. Too political. I don't like when these actors get too political. But anyways, gotta love that, right? What a great placement. 9.8. Gotta love it. They're not showing? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So there's the Mark Hamill one right there. And then underneath we got the Matt Wagner one right there. She's sweet. She's sweet. Look at that. Okay. Now these, okay. These are some pretty big mags. I think I'm gonna have to go to the big screen for these. These are some large mags. These are all, okay, 9.6. Wow. All right. We have some of these. Oh, okay. They mix these up for me. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Again, the way the boxes are now, it's throwing me right off. So we have, these came in from one fellow, and he didn't think he needed a press. They needed to be pressed. They were really in rough shape. There were some dents on them. Hockey News, Canada, first Connor Bedard cover on an NHL Pro in title. Meet the new guy in a 9.8. Let me go to the big screen. There we go. Pretty cool. And he gave me several copies. This one here came back as a 9.6. And again, these had some, he bought them off the rack. He thought they were perfect. We got them, and there was some damage. I forget, it's been going back. It's back a couple of months now, but there was some damage at the top there. I believe they needed to be pressed. And luckily we did it. I don't think they would have got a 9.6. They probably would have got like a 9.2 or 9.4. Now we got a 9.6. I'll put that over here, I guess. This one here was a 9.8, which was awesome. And then we have another 9.6. There was 4 or 5 copies. So another 9.6 right there. Let's see if we got any more 9.8s. How many copies were there? Oh, nice. There were 5 copies. And so we got 1 9.8 so far, 2 9.6s, and 2 more 9.8s. So I think you'll be happy with that. That's pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. Then we also have Vampirella. Vampirella number 109, 100-page issue. And that's with with the Empire Strikes Back toys on the back. Check that out. I have all that stuff. And a 9.2. Pretty cool. What was interesting about that is they put the comic with the magazine on that. They're now packing the magazines and the comics together, which is interesting. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. It's heavy. All right. What's nice about these little bubbly things, when I send them back to you, that's what I'm kind of excited about. They really protect the comics, which I really do appreciate. You know, my shows are going to be kind of different now, unfortunately, but these bubble wraps, I've got, and by the way, tons of books to mail out, guys. Please, well, first of all, thank you. Please be patient. I would like to do a shipping day this week. I don't think it's going to happen until Sunday or Monday, but I got all those Montreal books I got to send back, and I got a lot of books to send back. But it's just happening soon. I want them out of here. I want them out of here as bad as you want them. It's just a matter of time. I'm just still a little bit behind, but I am catching up. There it goes. Okay, what do we got here? We got some more JSA. We got a bunch of cool stuff. Let me just. All right. We've got an Avengers annual number 10 and a 9.0. We have an Avengers 196, also in a 9.0. We have a Hulk 340. Yeah, I don't see any bends, guys. I don't see any bends, which is nice. And a 9.6. This is... What was the grade before? This is another Stan Lee authenticated book in a 3.0. And this book, I don't remember if it was a 3.5 or a 4 before. We sent this in. It's funny. This is Justin's book. And this book, this Captain America or the Avengers 4, was he sent it in. And as soon as he sent it in, like about a week after or 2 weeks after, they offered the new service. They had already, by the time we found out, it had already been it's almost done being graded. So we got it back, and I think it was a 3 and a 4. I can't remember I have the label somewhere, but I think it was higher than a 3. Anyways, so then just like crack it, send it back. So we cracked it and we sent it back, and honestly, it's yeah, I guess a 3.5 is probably as much as this book should really get, but it's got some water staining at the back there, right here. See that, the water right here, the water staining. The whole bottom corner is actually a bit affected by it, but still a great book. Stanley signature right there, really nicely placed. There you go. And then we also have, we're going to put these right here. We also have a Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Number 1, Jim Steranko on page 1. The black JSA top of the CGC goes well with black books. Yeah, I think it looks great. Well, now we know what his political beliefs are. Yeah, can't see the screen. I hope you're still. Justin, I got to talk to you. You're here. I got to talk to you. Did you not get my message? I left you a message like about a week or two ago about your 238s. I got some information. I want to talk to you about it. Mike Evans here. How you doing? So it stayed the same, Justin. Well, you got it back at least. By the way, guys, if you're on Facebook, you want to go over and you want to follow Justin, give him the information on your what do you call it, on your Facebook page. Justin has great books and he auctions them off, sells them. We have a lot of guys on here who watch. Got Warren and Justin who do like claim sales and such on Facebook, and Justin always has some great books and always very fair with his pricing too. So you want to check that out. We have John Byrne Authenticated X-Men 133 and 90. Again, no bends, which is good. We have a Moon Knight number 55 signed by Stephen Platt. In a 9.6 right there. Those were done pretty quick, actually. I feel like these just left a few weeks ago. There we go. And we have a... Is that too much light? I think it looks better like that. We have a Solar Man of the Atom from 91, signed by Don Perlman, Jim Shooter, Barry Windsor Smith. So they authenticated 3 signatures on this one in a 9.6. Yeah, that's not bad. This one kind of looks kind of sketchy. This one is a little bit... What do you think? It's not terrible. Where is it? Right there. See that? Right along there. That's not... I'm not getting it. This one's not terrible. And it's a 9.6, but I'm going to tell you, this book looked a lot better, but it's hard to show you guys this. Right there. See where that is right there? Anyways, this book looked better than that when we sent it than it does now in this lab. But it's not, I don't know. It's not, I don't think it's too off base. Anyways, see what the owner thinks when he gets it back. I don't think it's terrible, but I've seen worse. I've seen worse examples, that's for sure. We got a G.I. Joe number 1 and a 9.6 right there. And that one looks fine. We got an Avengers 223. In a 9.4, famous Ant-Man and Hawkeye cover. And then we have, I think we've got some pre-screen books, I think. Let's see. We got some pre-screeners? Yeah. I like doing that. I feel like with a David Letterman show. Remember David Letterman would take his cue cards and be like, I just need sound effects. But I have no sound effects. All right. We've got some pre-screen books here. Unfortunately, the pre-screen box feels the rejects feel kind of heavy on this one. There's probably about 10 books in here, so heavy. But let me show you the ones that were accepted. We have a 9.8 copy, and it looks nice. There's no bends on this one. Amazing Spider-Man 324, right there. We've got an Amazing Spider-Man, a lot of McFarlane books here. 311. No bends, no, looks okay. Looks okay. We have another Amazing Spider-Man with Lizard. And one 313 right there. Great cover. And no bend. And then we have a Venom cover here. And it's a newsstand copy, actually, in a 9.8. We've got Spider-Man 347, ASM 347. And no bends again, which is great. And that, my friends, is it. That's all the books. 70 of you guys watching, 54 people liking the video. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it'd be certainly appreciated before you take off, my friends. Again, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I will be at my office this Saturday from 11 until 2. I will be at Hamilton Comic Con the following week. No, 2 weeks after that. I'm not sure when the hell the Hamilton Comic Con is. Let me tell you right now. Who knows when the Hamilton Comic Con is? I'm not sure. Let me find out. Anyways, I'll find out later. I'll be at the Hamilton Comic Con very soon. If you are in the Kitchener area, Cambridge, Niagara, Brantford area, and or Toronto, and you want to come and meet me, that's a great show to go to. I'll be there. I'll be doing signature series as well at the Hamilton Comic Con. Whoever happens to be there, I've taken pre-subs for Lou Ferrigno. But other people are sending me different books as well too. So check out the Hamilton Comic Con website. And of course, if you want to meet me there, I'll be happy to get any signature series books done for you. I will, of course, also be taking submissions for pressing and for cleaning. So September 21st and 22nd, Bad Hombre told me, thank you very much. So definitely come out and see me in Hamilton. Again, I'll be at the shop this weekend from 11 until 2, returning books as well as taking books for a comic book pressing and, of course, grading. And if you have books you want me to check out, books you want me to pre-screen before you send them off to CGC, you can, of course, do that as well. Go to my website, thecomicdoctor.com, go to the contact section and book an appointment right there. I try to stay as close to the appointment time as I can. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I sometimes get quite busy at my shop. Let me see what else is going on here before I go. Maybe you guys are chatting up a storm. Let's see. Justin says it stayed the same. Good. Okay. Hey, Mike, how's it going? We're leaving. No problem, Justin. Kaylin Kendi, what's your Facebook, Justin? Did he tell you guys? Justin, tell them your Facebook page. I want to know. Eric McGowan, night. See you later, Gord. Take care. Thank no problem. My pleasure. Luke, have a good night. September 21st and 22nd is the Hamilton show. And London, I will not be at London personally, but yes, we'll be at London. My witness will be there. I might go on the Sunday with my son, but I'm not going to be set up there. Guys, have a great night. I'll see you again very, very soon with another unboxing right here on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel. Hagarth, the Great 70, thank you for your compliment. I certainly appreciate it, guys. If you have any questions about comic pressing or cleaning, by all means, give me a holler. You can text me at my number. It's on my website, or you can just message me over on Facebook or Instagram. Guys, have a fantastic night. See you again very, very soon right here on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel for another live unboxing, probably next Tuesday at 8:30. Bye for now. Night all.